8:07 is your time right now. We want to get to the latest now on the coronavirus. The number of cases around the world has now surpassed more than 5.8 million, the most being here in the United States. And sadly, more than 361,000 people have died around the globe. Nearly 2.5 million people, though, have recovered. Meanwhile, here in Arizona, as for our numbers, another day of big numbers. There were 500 new cases reported in a 24-hour period, bringing the state's number of cases to nearly 18,000. Health officials say the rising numbers is in part because more testing is now being done. More than 850 people have died throughout our state from the virus. We'll break down the newest reported numbers coming in this morning in our 9 o'clock hour. Well, have you looked at your receipts lately and maybe noticed that there's been an extra surcharge? Look closely because you're going to see that possibly happening more and more. Businesses around the country are now adding a COVID-19 related surcharge to their bills. You maybe have seen that viral post of a restaurant one from a sushi restaurant in Missouri that's gone viral. The COVID-19 surcharge is now causing a lot of backlash on social media. And as 3 on Your Side, Susan Campbell shows us, expect it to go beyond just the restaurant receipts. Good morning, Susan.
That some patients are actually seeing COVID-19 charges that are being added on. For example, $10 is being tacked onto the copay for personal protective equipment at a pediatric practice in Florida. We've also heard about $15 infectious disease fees at Illinois offices. We checked in with the Arizona Dental Association to find out if these fees are happening here. The group hasn't responded to us yet. Ted Rossman, an analyst for creditcards.com, says it's unclear whether insurance will cover those extra costs.
The American Dental Association is urging them to do so. But at the end of the day, somebody's going to have to shoulder that cost. And we don't know yet if it's insurance, if it's the dentist, if it's the customer, especially for a small practice. That could really add up.
You may see extra fees at your next hair appointment, too. A hair salon in Gilbert sent an email to customers saying the business is adding a $10 disinfection fee to each client. The email explains this covers the cost for the extra time we cannot book clients while we disinfect all surfaces to make it safe for you. And travel industry experts say they won't be surprised if we end up with coronavirus surcharges added on to flights and hotel stays. Businesses that have already implemented the extra fees say they're necessary. Rossman says it's a risky move.
These businesses are looking to recoup the cost. The problem from the customer perspective is that a lot of people think it looks bad, especially when you see that line item. And you're like, well, hey, wait a second. Are you also going to charge me for air conditioning and electricity? And, people feel like this should be baked into the overall cost of goods and services and not pulled out separately.
Rossman says a recent survey commissioned by American Express shows 86% of people said they would consider shopping or spending elsewhere if a business started charging surcharges. I'm 3 on Your Side, Susan Campbell.